All right. How's everyone?
Bọ́yè gbogbo àwò àbọ̀rù bọ́yè ẹ̀yin babaláwo èèyàn ìbọ̀rù bọ́yè ó yàn.
Hey, Abora Boy, this is Olu Fakola Davidin Kaifa Temple. We look forward to you. Thank you so much for tapping in with us this Sunday for our temple service. The topic this Sunday is all sickness, all illness is not unto death. So let us begin with morning prayers. I want to shout out everybody on Clubhouse, shout out everybody on Instagram, everyone on YouTube, Facebook, all of that. Good to see y'all. Ashe. Boy. Ashe. All right. Mojuba Olorun, Mojuba Leda, Mojuba Olorumare, Mojuba Bobo Rumale, Mojuba Bobo Male, Mojuba Boy Guntendele Solorumare, Mojuba Shungwade, Mojuba Gwede, Mojuba Fragdamus, Mojuba Tom, Mojuba Flori, Mojuba Palau Corriente, Mojuba Felipe Zaloeto, Mojuba Gunjobi, Mojuba Miye, Mojuri Shamala, Mojuri Shalanko, Mojomi Tonade, Mojuba Shubi, Mojuba. Sejamana from the first, I won't baba, Tia Bada True, Ashe, Jogbe. He hears people's pleas and accept the pleas. He hears people's pleas and approves the pleas. He talks to people and ensures that the talks is completely absorbed. He hears people's pleas and accept the pleas in the name of Mufa. He hears people's pleas and approves pleas in the name of Shodar. He talks to people and ensures that the talks is completely absorbed is the name of Orishamla. Orishamla, you're the person most one dings. Person most one cannot fail to impress one. Stripe frogs, one some strength. Bullfrogs, one some downpour. It is whatever the accurate you point. Two tells earth, earth that accepts. Whatever the big rat tells earth, earth that accepts. All what I tell you, if I please accept and approve them, I share. Oh, to show gratitude upon gratitude, dissolve our gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the all of our benevolence. Plus, I show gratitude for yesterday's benevolence. Such a person I appreciate today's beauty. These were the decorations five. To the foreign to run a rumale. I'm going to marry Opwe, daughter of Ishwuji. These are also decorations five to a rumale. I'm going to marry Opwe, daughter of Orisha Bawuji. I'm grateful I see my gratuity. I'm grateful for yesterday's favor. I see today's gratuity. Oh, Turete, we're very grateful. I share. Awa dupe. Awa bure. Awa dupe o. Awa bure. Awa dupe ana o. Awa bure tunebo. Olodumare. Awa bure. Awa bure. Awa dupe o. Awa bure. Adupe ana awo bure tunebo oriani awa dupe awa bure awa dupe awa bure adupe ana awo bure tunebo irumole awa dupe awa bure. Awa dupe awa bure. Adupe ana awo bure tunebo legun orisha. Olodumare and the divinities, we ask that you would forgive us. Forgive us for the things that we have done negative. Forgive us for the times that we might have doubted ourselves, doubted our divinity, doubted our destiny. A roast from a tutu, pounded yam without soup, can be very difficult to consume. These were the decorations of Ifa, to a tutu, the child of Agbeneregum. He who's full of bad character, whose bad attitude had prevented him from entity Va's domain, now come to solicit on behalf of Itutu. We've come to beg on behalf of Itutu. Father, please be patient, overlook this provocation. Those who beg on behalf of Itutu, Orumla by saying, those who beg on behalf of Itutu. Those who solicit on behalf of Itutu. How many children does Ifa have that he will cast one out? Those who beg on behalf of Itutu. Og Belara, Ifa, we ask that you ward off our death, ward off our sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses in our fights, and bring forth to us long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, peace of mind, healing, victory, joy, and all the wonderful things of life. Protect us from all challenges. Ugbelar. Arumla says it's time to sleep. I echoed it's time to sleep. When the day dawned, I met Arumla in the 16th room, where he covered his head with the flowing gown full of lice. He was wearing dress full of bloodstains. He was snoring heavily. They told me a delegate from his disciple arrived. Arumla inquired about what the delegate had brought. They told him they brought 2 rats swift from running, 2 fish swift from swimming, 2 birds swift in flight, and 2 ghosts with big livers. Arumla said that is not enough to wake him up. I admit my ignorance, to educate me. Motuna Karaba, I hide myself in your bosom and survive. Motuna Karaba, the dog can masquerade to be sagged by John repeatedly. The dog can masquerade to be sagged by John repeatedly to perform rituals because of children. You are the leaders, we are the followers. Leaders are the ones that show the followers wisdom. Arumla told them to get alligator pepper, to get cola nut, to get bitter cola, to get alcohol. The capo got the alligator pepper, he got the cola nut, he got the bitter cola, and he got the alcohol. That is right. Now he is fully awake. Arumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me throughout your compassion. It is with eyes of compassion that the heavenly stars use to look at the stars below. Arumla, when you're fully awake, please look at me throughout your child 1, 2. Secure great wealth is such good eyes that the heavenly stars use to look at the stars below. Arumla, when you're fully awake, please look at me with your eyes with child 1, 2. Secure good spouse, such good eyes my spouse should use to look at me with. Arumla, when you're fully awake, please look at me with your eyes with child 1, 2. Bear many children and such good eyes a child should use and look at what decorated plate. Before long, not too far, join us in the midst of all evil in life. Share. Ifa, we ask at this time that you ward off our death, ward off our sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, and our fights, ward off witchcraft and negative energy from us. Bring to us long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, peace of mind, victory, healing, and all the wonderful things of life. We call on the Odu Usha Akikini Bagisa, the extract sharply against the tree, Cassifa for Rumla, when he used to receive Iba and Ashe from Olodum. If an amount you should be wealthy, surely be wealthy. Akikini Bagisa, and the mouth of an owl is Azibana Ashe, and the mouth of an owl. If no one says you have joy, you surely have joy. Akikini Bagisa, and the mouth of an owl is Azibana Ashe, and the mouth of an owl. If no one says you have victory, you surely have victory. I kick in it by sign. The mouth of an owl is Adibana Shan, the mouth now will. If no teacher have all the good things in life, you surely have all the good things in life. I kick it by sign. The mouth wounds Adibana Shan, the mouth now will. To sing. Maybe so surely shall it be. Bullshit try. Tiny are the feet of Tubu. The stripe of a chameleon is not big enough to be used as headgear. Had it been enough to be used as headgear, I would have taken it home and adorned my head with it. These 5 decorations. 2. The foreign runner. These 5 decorations to Oshiaruela. I'm going to Oshiaruela. Oshiaruela. Pay homage to the salt seller and pay money. Oshiaruela, you're a good awo. Oshiatura. Ifa, we ask that you would support us with the Ashe of Oshiatura. Akanika. Akakanika. Alakakanika. La Pasha Paha Jakalu. Confon Fede Fowele. Akakanikala Pefa. Alakakanikala Eudu. Ala Pasha Paha Jakalula Peshorara. Confon Fede Fowele. Yape Shudara. Voti do Oshiatura. Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá màmá wí o, ìrúmọlẹ̀ ó bà. Ifá ó bá o, Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi. Tí mo ń dúró, tí mo ń súre. Tí mo ń bẹ̀rẹ̀, tí mo ń súre. Tí mo ń kúnlẹ̀, tí mo ń súre. Timo Joko, Timo Sure, Ire Timo Suori Tibo. Ori eni larure eni o. Ori eni larure eni. Mojulo mi fawa mori. Ori eni larure eni. She. Bobore chasu. Ifa oba lorun. Atibacha. Ifá ọba lọ́run, ó ṣe àrú ìlà, Ifá ti bó. Olodumare and the divinities, we ask that you would ward off all death, ward off sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses in our fights, ward off the challenges of this world, bring forth to us long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, peace of mind, victory over adversity, all healing, and all the good things of life. Ifa, please move my ego out of the way so that we can hear a word of Ifa, so that we can hear a word from Olodumare. Protect us from all disease and danger. Protect us from all challenges of this world so that we can live out our full destiny, so that we can find, follow, and fulfill the greatness that has been put in us. Ashe. Emma kamimene amo, Emma kamimene anu, Emma kamimene adelokun, Tamuole tori ifa lonimi, Ebora timpanini, Enibanami, Ahun ati ifa leleju. Ashe. Thank you all so much for tuning in, tapping in with us. Shout outs to everyone on Instagram, Clubhouse, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you all for joining us. This is once again Idinka Ifa Temple. I'm Oluo Fakolade. We thank you all for joining us, and we have a really interesting Ifa sermon this morning, and the title of it is "All Sickness is Not Unto Death." So before we jump into today's sermon, I wanted to just make a couple of announcements. One announcement that I wanted to share is this is Black August. So we want to shout out Black August Collective and also to all of our ancestors who have supported the movement of Black August. For those of you who don't know, what does Black August mean? Black August basically means that there are so many powerful occurrences within the history of Black people and the liberation of Black people that have happened during the month of August. It was coined, I believe, by Chairman George Jackson. Also, during this month, so many powerful things have happened. Being the beginning of the liberation of Haiti with Boy Kaman, with the birth date of the honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. So many powerful occurrences are all inside of the month of August. So those of you who understand the magnitude of what Black August means, celebrate with us, and we'll share more content associated with Black August this month to support the movement of our liberation and rise. So with that, also I wanted to give also a moment of silence, because this week there was a really horrific crash that took place in our neighborhood on the corner of La Brea and Slauson. So those of you who know, and I just wanted to share that insight because, in that crash, amongst the people who died, one was a pregnant mother. So the pregnant mother, she passed away, and the upcoming baby, and the father of the child passed, and the baby that was already here, the 1-year-old. All of those people passed in one fell swoop on the corner of Slauson and La Brea. So I would just want all of us to just maybe give about a moment of silence to pay homage to those who passed this week, and let us pray for their elevation and for the comfort of the families who have been injured and of the families of those who have been lost. Ashe. So let's give a moment of silence for that. I share. I share. All right. Thank you all. So let's talk about our topic. Once again, our topic is all sickness is not unto death. Where does this come from? This concept or this verse is actually a verse of the Bible. In the chapter, in the book of John, I believe it was chapter 11, verse 4. It says, and this is in reference to when Jesus went to work when he was called to work on Lazarus. So those of you who know that biblical story, Lazarus was already dead. He was already buried. And in the process, Jesus waited and then he went to work on Lazarus. And when he went to work on Lazarus, when he went to pray for and do what he wanted to do for Lazarus, when he showed up, what he said was, "This illness does not lead to death." He basically said, sickness is not unto death. It is for the glory of God. So I understand many of us politically and spiritually, we do not adhere to Christianity views. But this is a powerful, powerful message that we can utilize the value of associated with Ifa. Why? The scripture, as I said before, all this sickness is not unto death, it is for the glory of God. So what does that mean? In essence, what that means is this is a moment for Olodumare to demonstrate himself. This is a moment, this is a time for the Irumole to show themselves in full in the life of those who are ill. And in that process, that was the beginning of the process of how Lazarus was, in essence, raised from the dead. So with that, what does Ifa have to say? So first of all, Ifa wants us to be well. Ifa wants us to be healthy. Ifa says, and the Odu Ifa, Obara, Owanrin. Ifa says, Owanrin, the owl of the riverbed, and Obara, the owl of the stream bed. Both Owanrin and Obara, the owl of the river bed, and Owanrin, the owl of the riverbed, and Obara, the owl of the stream bed. They both cast Ifa for Olun Khan, the offspring of he who has that which is more delicious and sweeter than honey. He was advised to offer Ebo. He complied. There is nothing more delicious. There's nothing more delicious and sweet than having sound health. There's nothing more delicious than for one to be blessed with vitality. Vitality is the panacea of prosperity. What Ifa is saying here is that prosperity, in order to have all the good things of life, the great things of life, Ifa says that we, in essence, need to have long life. We need to have good health. Good health is the key that will assist us in being great eventually. If you can live through it, then you will be able to have all the great and good things that Olodumare has put in your destiny. So Ifa is saying, I want you to have good health, because good health is the thing that will finally get you to prosperity. Good health is the thing that will get you to great wealth. Good health is the thing that will get you into the space where you have all the good things of life. That's why the the first ire is ire aiku. And ire aiku is in essence longevity. So when one has longevity, one can live long enough to weather whatever storm. So good health is so very important. Ifa wants us to have good health. And the Odu Ifa Ejiogbe Ifa says that the human lifespan is actually about 200 years. So when we think about that lifespan being at least 200 years, then when we see people dying at even age 100, they're dying prematurely. What does that say? How are we what is the challenge here? And on a deeper level, many people are dying because of taboo behavior or consuming things that might be taboo. So, in terms of illness, what is the nature of this illness? What is illness? Where does it come from? In the Odu Ifa Eji Ogbe as well, Ifa says, oh, oh, ro. Peanuts, separately do we eat peanuts, separately do we eat tamarind, and separately does the queen bee eat. What belongs for Ori is for Ori. What belongs to Ori is for Ori. But what belongs to both Ori and Ori is what will be given in Obama King in the land of Iranji, that he may bless us with that which is for both Ori and Ori. This was the Ifa cast for the 4,000 ailments when coming from heaven to earth. Ejiogbe was their leader in heaven. They were all advised to offer Ebo. They complied. Not too far, join us in the midst of all good things. So, what Ifa is saying here in Ejiogbe is, in essence, that all illness rode into the world on the back of the Odu Ifa Ejiogbe. So, along with that, what Ifa is saying to us is what is if illness has come to the world, but what are the elements in order for us to stop it? How do we? What is the remedy to neutralize illness in its tracks? Many times when we cast Ifa, Iku might be easier to stop than Arun. Iku is death. Death might come at a particular moment. And if we can stop it in its tracks, then death is neutralized. But illness oftentimes can be a little bit more tricky because illness, it has an element of relentlessness. It's continual, and you have to address it from various angles. There's a particular divinity that is responsible for illness. This divinity, to many people, is known as Igbona, Itashe, Olodo, Olode, Baba Agbe, Obaluwaye. Some people call this divinity Sakpata or Sapona. And many folks in Dahomey or Benin, they might call him Dazoji, Dazogi. And when we think about all of these names, the Irumole remains the same. It is Sapona. It is Obaluaye. And Obaluaye is the divinity that is in essence responsible for all illness, all infectious disease. Obaluaye oftentimes can be quick tempered. And as I said about illness, Obaluaye as well can be relentless, relentless in his attack and continual movement, encroaching and consistent. Obaluaye also is known by many people to be, some people say that Obaluaye is unattractive, Obaluaye is ugly. But along with that, Obaluaye and Orumila are very close. They're good friends. Partly because the nature of Obaluaye as well. I say that Obaluaye is quick-tempered and relentless, but extremely honest. Obaluaye absolutely hates individuals who are dishonest and who practice antisocial and or criminal behavior. In the Odu Ifa Ogbe Okanran, Ifa says, Ogbe nails the matter to the earth to prevent the matter from coming out of hand. He was the one who cast Ifa for the inscribed sign of the forest. And the inscribed sign of the forest is code for smallpox. The descendant of Obaluaye, he cast Ifa to determine if he would be able to dominate the world. He complied. Before long, not too far. Unite us where we use Ebo to conquer all adversity. So with this, what Ifa is saying is Obaluaye is so powerful, so strong that his nature in this Ifa was to come to the earth and dominate. Come to the earth and in essence be the individual who runs things. And he wanted to come and basically put human beings in check whenever he wanted to. So he was asked to offer Ebo, and Obaluaye complied with the Ebo. So as a result, whenever Obaluaye chooses, he can go into the world and traumatize and ruin many of the plans of human beings. Ifa also shows us that the power of Obaluaye is this great and immense and challenging thing. But along with that, Ifa gives us the solution. How do we avoid this? And this is why we offer Ebo. So when you think about this, how does illness first come? Illness will first attack us spiritually. At the initial stages, if you notice, those of you who might have contracted coronavirus, at the initial stage, you might have had a little scratchiness in the throat. Initially, this might be the sign that illness is coming. So what should we do at that very moment? Take steps to neutralize it. And Ifa, illness, as I said before, first attacks us on a spiritual level. And then from that attack on the spiritual level, if we address it spiritually first, then what will occur many times is the physical aspect can be neutralized. Ifa says in the Odu Okaran Obara, Ifa says, the fly flew, and its wings resembled those of the bird. Ogi. Ijoku is the dress of the green brushes. The root that dies during the rainy period is hard to get. This was Ifa cast for Oba Aye, basically the king of the earth, and also cast for Oba Orun, the king of the sky world. They were advised to offer Ebo against contagious diseases. One king is snatching the other. The time Sapona is killing the market chiefs, of course, one king is snatching the other. In this Ifa is talking about how contagious diseases that Obaloye produces first come in the sky world. And then they come from the sky world. They will attack the spiritual realm, Orun level. And then it will attack on the earthly or on the human level. And with this, Ifa is giving us more of the solution. How do we stop it? How do we avoid illness? How do we stop illness right in its tracks? Ifa is telling us if we can offer the abo, then that abo will support in the neutralization of it on a spiritual level. And then we can begin to address it on the physical. Oftentimes, we've offered abo for people who have illnesses. We offer the abo and then prescribe certain things that will assist in completely eradicating that illness. So, how do we avoid the wrath of Obaluaye? Ifa says in Ogbekare Kakaja Ogbeka, a cushion is a cushion is kind on the outside, and on the inside it is full of pieces. They were the ones who cast Ifa for Onikola, the one who marks victims and is still paying. They were advised to offer abo. They complied. Travelers to Ipo and Ofa town meet us at the middle of abundant blessings. In this Odu Ifa, Onikola went for Ifa consultation. He wanted to know whether he would be able to afflict people with various infectious diseases. He was asked to give the people the option of first performing rituals to him, and whoever failed to offer abo, those were the people that he would then be able to afflict. He agreed. One day, the people in the community were showing signs of being afflicted with pandemic. They went for Ifa consultation and they were told to feed Obaluaye. And they were also asked to perform special rituals of taking coins and rubbing their heads with the coins and including that in the materials for Ebo. They fed Obaluaye, they did the various ritual. And in doing this, that enabled the whole community to overcome the negative aspects of illness. So when we think about all of these things, what are we coming back to each time? Every time we talk about an Ifa verse or a story associated with illness, every time we talk about the wrath of Obaluaye, what is Ifa saying? Yes, Obaluaye is here. Yes, Obaluaye is strong, powerful, and also will inflict pain and will inflict his wrath. But the way that you must address this process is first abo, and then address it with your spiritual, with your physical mechanisms that will be able to support the process of healing. So we need spiritual solutions to accompany all of our physical solutions. And along with that, we need to have an air of humility to know and understand that we have to engage in that type of exchange to have success. The Odu Ifa Ogbe Tumopon Ogbe Oturupon is very unique. It shares a unique story about the time Shango almost died. Ogbe Tumopon Ifa says, Asumosi Abidi Jangale cast Ifa for one leg of Ogbe. He was the Awo going on Ifa mission to the home of Shango. He was advised to offer Abo. He complied. One leg of Ogbe, the Babalawo of Shango. He cast Ifa for Shango when he was suffering from serious ailments and was lamenting his inability to get well and be in good health. He was advised to offer Abo and told to go to the stream for Itefa. He complied. He went to the stream for Ifa initiation and regained all of his strength. Please, Arira, thunder, do not strike the home of the Babalao. Arira, do not strike there. Travelers to Ipo and Ofa town. The thunderstone will never be directed towards the home of Ifa. This is such a unique and powerful verse. And what was happening is Shango at this time was extremely ill. And Shango was so sick that no one in his town, in his community, in his household compound, no one, absolutely no one, believed that Shango would survive the illness. Shango was so ill, in fact, that his family members, his worshipers, and community members began to distance themselves from him because he was believed to be contagious. The people would avoid Shango on one hand, but then on the other hand, they would go to him and be like, yo, Shango, I need some money. And they would take his money. But the odd thing is they would take his money and then get social distance from him. They would take his blessings and then be like, all right, hands off policy, as if his money or his blessings were not infected with the illness as well. When Shango was too weak to bless and too broke to give money, then everyone completely abandoned him. Everyone at that time completely left Shango alone. They left him, and when Shango was so alone, he then went and he didn't cast Ifa first. He summoned a Babalao, and the name of this Awo was One Leg of Ogbe. So Shango summoned One Leg of Ogbe to come. And when he did this, One Leg of Ogbe cast Ifa. And One Leg of Ogbe went and he casted Ifa with Asumosi abidi jangale. So so he went to him to cast Ifa, who was his Awo, because he knew he was going to the home of Shango, and he wanted to understand, how do I support Shango? How do I heal this great divinity? Or what is going on? So he went to his Awo and cast Ifa. The Babalao then told One Leg of Ogbe, he said, Shango is seriously ill. And he said, the key to Shango's healing is that you will need to offer a bow, and you need to initiate him to Ifa. Ifa initiation will be the thing that heals Shango. And then he told One Leg of Ogbe, here's the catch. You got to do this whole ritual for Shango completely free, because he has no money. So this is a unique aspect of Ifa. The Babalao, at many times, before we offer a bow for you, before we cast Ifa for you, we have to go and cast Ifa for ourselves. And many times when we go and cast Ifa for ourselves, it is done in a way that is healing and protective for us, so that we can come to you whole. So One Leg of Ogbe, he offered his own Ebo before he went to visit Shango. And when he got there, he cast Ifa for Shango, and he realized everything that Sumosi Abidi Jangele had said was absolutely true. Shango was extremely ill, on the verge of death. Shango had no money. And the key to the healing of Shango was Tefa. So One Leg of Ogbe performed all the rituals that he needed to do. He offered the abo. He even gathered the materials himself. He also gathered all the materials and took Shango to the stream for Igbodu and a Tefa rituals. So that is how Shango was initiated to Ifa. And charged Shango nothing. Because Shango had no money at this time, he vowed never to strike lightning on the home of any Babalao that is honest. So in this Ifa, uniquely speaking, Shango is initiated to Ifa. Shango gets initiated to Ifa, in essence, to save his life. And it happened in this Odu. When we think about that, what are some of the other messages here? Ifa is also saying that one of the ways that many of us can avoid illness is to be initiated to Ifa. To be initiated to Ifa will assist in revealing what is taboo. What are your spiritual poisons? What are your physical poisons? What are things that will assist you in overcoming challenges when challenges arise? So that whole process of finding, following, and fulfilling your destiny, that happens in Atefa. But uniquely, if we're roaming in the world without knowledge of ourselves, without any knowledge of self, any knowledge of our destiny, knowledge of who we are, who we need to be to actualize our full and greatest self and greatest potential, when we roam in ignorance of that, then we roam in jeopardy. Shango came to the world. He knew his destiny. He knew he was this great Irumole. But the key here is Shango did not know the route to fulfill that destiny. So, in closing, I suggest that as we analyze illness, first we need to understand that we have the victory over it. All illness, all sickness, all ailments will not lead to death. But it is important for us to understand our destiny, because if we know our destiny, then we know the solution. And some Odu Ifas, some people who have specific Ifa and Tabu, Ifa basically will show you, if you ever get sick, this is what you do. So Ifa has that solution for us. So the key on one level is to know our destiny, to know who you are, to know what your strength is, to know what your weakness is. You avoid the weakness and try to transform that weakness into a strength. And you enhance those things that are your strengths. You consume those things that give you strength, that sustain you. That's key. Also, along with that, we must understand that when illness, when any challenge, when any Ajogun comes and approaches us, before that curse, before that ailment, before that challenge manifests in the physical realm, it first attacks the spiritual. So when we think about it coming in and attacking that spiritual area, that spiritual realm, or that aspect of our aura, we need to be sensitive to the vibration. We need to be, you ever heard somebody say, hey, there's some interesting vibes, some bad vibes around here. We need to be sensitive to the energy, to the spiritual forces that are around us. If you ever walk into a room, walk into a place, and you're like, I don't feel, this don't feel right. Or you get in the car and you're about to go somewhere and you're like, you know what, I don't feel like I shouldn't even go that way. Don't do it. These hunches, this intuition, many times that is spirit warning us. And just as I said before, in terms of illness, also Ajogun, also negative forces, calamity, before those things can touch us, many times we give it access first through doubt, through fear, through dishonesty, bad character. These things open us up to the negative forces that are just swarming around. And when we give evil a way in, when we give negativity a way in, then you think about, if you give it an inch, it takes a mile. That's in essence what happens. So when we think of these things, we need to bring good into the world and be around people who bring good into the world, and be around people who make us feel good in the world, and also know our destiny. Ashe, Aboru Aboya Boshishe. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And just know those of you, if any of you are feeling ill, any of you are not at the best level of health, please know that there are solutions. There are solutions outside of allopathic medicine. There's homeopathic remedies, there's Ifa remedies. There's so many other routes to healing, and they are effective. So just know that if one door is closed, if one door has no remedy for you, there are other doors that are open. You just have to knock. You just have to reach. You just have to go to those places that you don't usually go. I often tell folks, in order to have the things that you want to have, many times you have to live a life and do things that other people don't do. You know, I remember years ago, I had a friend who was battling cancer. And I remember she told me when I went to visit her, you know, and she was in remission. She had already beat the cancer. And she was like, yeah, you know, I took this particular herb and, you know, it tasted horrible. And whenever I was taking chemo, I just took the herb and I went out dancing that night. Whereas other people, they had no energy, they were sick. I was taking these herbs and taking bitters, and the doctor was like, "What are you doing?" The people around me were like, "What are you doing?" And the thing is that she told them, she was like, "What I'm taking, I don't know if you would want. I don't know if you could stand to take it because it was absolutely bitter." And she beat the cancer. And the unique thing is, you, in order to heal and do and achieve things that other people in the world haven't done, that the masses of people that haven't done, you got to do something different. You have to do something that other people don't do. Everybody in the world doesn't do this. They don't practice, they don't listen. Everybody is following this regimented process that has kind of been predestined and put out there by the mainstream media. We already know that the standard American diet is toxic and poisonous to us. Yet there are still people who wake up every morning and eat eggs and bacon every morning. Yet it is known that that is toxic for the human body. So I just say we got to do different. We got to be different, folks. And that's all that is following your destiny. So I just want to uh, share with you that. Also, we have performed Itarogun rituals. Itarogun was not last Monday, it was the Monday before. So we've performed it. I've put the messages up. If those of you who didn't know, it's up. It's been up there for about a week, 2 weeks, excuse me, 2 weeks. And we also did the Abo. The Odu was Ejiogbe. And part of the issue was dealing with illness. So we needed to offer a bow to stop illness at that time. That's part of the reason why I wanted to talk about that today. So we offered that abo, and we were able to resolve the problem. Um, we plan on having some other uh, rituals this month, particularly around Black August. So stay tuned for that. Also, we have Makings of Men, and Makings of Men usually happens every third Thursday. So we will. The plan is to have it. I want to change the format because we might be out of town during that time period doing Ifa ritual. So that's another thing that we're focusing on. So I'll keep you in the loop for that. Also, my plan for the Friday night classes, for those of you who are interested, is I want to do a series focusing on Oshe Ifa and Oshe Orisha. So we're going to do work around, many people have gotten Hand of Ifa from me in the past month. So I want to focus around supporting folks and empowering folks who have shrines or who want to get shrines, who want to know more about Ifa. I want to kind of scale down and kind of go back to the basics. So those of you who are interested, we're going to have classes every Friday um, around propitiating the Orishas, propitiating Ifa, and doing just basic things that you can do to enhance your life. So it's going to be geared around folks who who have a Hand of Ifa, but I'm going to give other information for folks who, you don't have a Hand of Ifa, you don't have any shrine. What can you do? So if you are interested, we're going to be doing that. We've had the Friday night class every Friday, typically, but we're going to do that. So those of you who are interested, please join in. Please tap in with us on Friday night. It's usually a good time. I would like more people to come in just so that we can have more of a discussion. So those of you who are interested, please join. If you like what we're doing at Idin Kai Fa Temple, you can donate. All the information is at the bottom. Please visit our website. We have some great things coming. We have some wonderful, wonderful things coming in terms of soon we'll be doing actual physical meetings. So we're looking for a space that we can be in consistently, but we're eager to start that process. So we thank you for rocking with us all this time. We started during this pandemic period, but we're going to finish things up on ground and in person. All right. So let us close with prayer. Olodumare, we thank you for life. We thank you for health. We thank you for strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We thank you for giving us the victory. Thank you for giving us the messages that all illness is not a death sentence. Help us to continue to hold on to hope. Help us to continue to hold on to healing. Help us to continue to hold on to Ifa and hold on to our destiny so that we can live our greatest, most abundant, and enhanced life. We thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing so many more blessings. I bless you all so that your week goes very well, and we will see you in 2 weeks for Ile Juba Temple service. Thank you all once again. Aboro Aboye, Aboshishe, Agbo Ato. Thank you all once again. All right. Have a good one. Look forward to seeing you. Aboro Boy.